So this is going to be a video on mobility work that you could do at the start, at the end of workout, or if you just want to go to the gym and work on your mobility and improve your flexibility. So we kind of mix in some of the stuff I've been doing on a regular basis. So I'm going to start with a simple dog up, dog down, and I'm going to check that my heels are on the floor when I do that dog down. We're going to come back to that, checking are my heels down in a dog down position. Kind of going to a sun salutation A and B. You can look them up if you want, and I would repeat them quite a few times throughout the workout, or what's called in yoga a vinyasa, which is kind of just do a dog up, dog down, jump through, and then continue on and find another pose. I'll always go back to like my forward bend and kind of checking that position all of the time. So starting from the feet up. After that, I'm going to mash my calves with a little stick here, so move it up and down. Normally take about 2 minutes to do that, and then I'm getting into a big toe stretch. If you really struggle to sit down in that position, you really need to massage out your feet, which I'm doing there now as well with the stick. You could use a little ball there as well. From there, we're going to move on to the tibialis. That's the front of the shin. Big issue for a lot of people if you struggle to squat, so really mash down on that. And then again, in each of these stretches or mobility drills, I'm probably spending about a minute on each position as I work throughout. From there then I'm going to check my forward bend position or my pike position, and it's getting a little bit better every time. Going to do some ballistic stretching there, so just moving up and down, about 30 to 50 reps of that. Recheck my dog down position, heels are down. Now I'm going to work on the hamstrings with some Jefferson curls. That's a 24 kilo kettlebell, but obviously work up to that and trying to work it deeper and deeper, and really trying to compress in as much as I can as I do that. I normally combine that with some squatting with the kettlebell as well to free my hips up a little bit more, so kind of move forward and back between those, and then again constantly moving back to my forward bend. Might throw in some of the standing sequences from Ashtanga yoga then as well. There's some of the Trikonasana poses. Hit a little bind here, link my hands up behind the back. That's really good for the shoulders. Here's it from the other side now. Link up, boom, and work on throwing some of those poses in now and again. Then I'm going to start to work on my straddle. That's a standing straddle, and I'm working on getting my head on the ground, which I can't do in that position, but now I'm going to use these positions a little bit to try and get into a better straddle. So I'm using a plate there. That's a 5 kilo plate. That's a 10 kilo plate just sitting on my back, and I might move in and out of that position a couple of times, really working on contracting my thighs in that position, so I'm not lazy in that position. That's a weighted straddle, a weighted standing straddle. Normally do that with a flat back. Really working on depth and working on putting that kettlebell down on the floor. Then as I move back, I'll do some straddle ups, so that's just lifting myself up and off a box, and again really working on keeping the legs super straight and contracting into the thighs. Head is now on the floor, so even after that short sequence, mobility is an awful lot better. Working on that pigeon stretch, you have to be able to get that shin across your body. That's basic mobility. Dog up, dog down, go again. That's a vinyasa there. And then that's a frog stretch next, keeping the back absolutely straight in that position, and again squeezing my knees together every time I go back. Might do some lifts in that position, find that really good for the hips. And then we're working into like another yoga pose here, with hugging that knee up towards our chest. That really hits the glutes. There's my vinyasa there again. There's a half lotus position to work on the hips again. And again, all of these are modifiable just depending on your range of motion. Go into it as much as you can. Getting the socks back on next, because I want to be able to slide a little bit more on the floor when I work on front splits. Again, I'm doing those contractions, so I'm telling the muscle I want to drop down into it a little bit more. So really pressing into that back leg and front leg to try and allow me to get down a little bit deeper. So starting to get a little bit lower in that front splits. Roll the hips. There's my pike position again, getting a little bit deeper. Palms are firmly on the floor now. Last of all, we got the shoulders, so doing some rollovers there, some external rotator cuff exercises with the bar there again. Hanging from the bar is fantastic. Single arm hangs with a little bit of a lean, really good for the lats. Chest stretch coming up now off a box or a bench, and really working on breathing, shoving that chest up. Thoracic extension, using a box or a bench, dropping the hips down, working on trying to open up those shoulders. Try and do that maybe with one arm then as well, which should be coming up now in a second. Some twists into that, find that really good. And then again, just working on thoracic extensions here, or just working really on the lats in a couple of different positions. Plow pose, or halasana from yoga. I find that really good for the upper back and lower back. Forward bends, then again, I'd always follow it up with. Maybe do some little lifts where I'm lifting off the ground, work on the core a bit then. Core is great stuff to be throwing in here along the way. You could throw in some core stuff. Another dog up, dog down. Maybe lie back into this pose then as well. I find that really good for opening up my hips, the front of my hips. And that's pretty much it. So loads more stuff over on my website, dominicmanelli.ie. Hope that was of help to you. All the best.